So we're back. Last time we did part of the determine character qualities here. We got the boon working.
This one.
Yeah.
Over here on our website, we have boons, and we get a random name for the boon. A boon can have multiple effects. Each boon will only have one effect for now.
At least when you create the character at the beginning.
Yeah.
Boons can acquire additional effects later on.
Is our next step to add banes?
I think so. The other possibility would be to do a goodie with a feature. The effects of the features match the effects of the boons. I'd be okay with either. I think the bane makes sense in terms of just the progression of how you would normally create a character.
Yeah.
I think so.
Bane it is. I feel like we should have a Batman reference in here somewhere. Should we start with a test?
I think we basically do the same thing as we did for boons for banes. Like, it's just that skills to check would be different, right? And it's banes instead of boons.
So let's do bane to our character, which means I also need a character. Should we start with a couple of those tests, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have an add bane.
So we're going to add a bane.
This is when we could stop to have a tangential conversation about pairing and mobbing techniques, but let's type code instead.
Yeah.
Ooh, since this is going to be on YouTube, we can tell people to post in the comments what their favorite technique is.
Yeah.
Switching between drivers
and like and subscribe and smash that notification button. Yeah.
That.
Okay, here we rerun the tests now that we have a function. Okay. So now found add bane, and so now we need to do expected undefined to be defined. So
looking for boons, but this should really be banes, huh? I mean, it'll still fail, but it will fail for the right reason.
Okay, now we have banes. So
look, and we have 0 banes,
and then
expected 1 bane.
Banes dot push bane. And we can do bane equals a. So that should be good. That should pass the test.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's enhance our test then.
Okay. Our bane should probably have a name. Just like our boon.
Yeah.
Should have a name.
Let's do that.
Okay. And
do we want to so with the boons, we took the route of having just a hard-coded name and a hard-coded effect and everything. Do we want to take that's sort of a smaller step?
I think we can take the bigger step since we already took the small step.
Okay.
It's the same, basically, right?
Yeah.
We do need to change it to bane names. And then we have to grab a different set of names, which
I have in one of my browser windows somewhere. There it is. Actually, I don't know where that is. It's probably there we go. Okay, I'm gonna take first 3 physical banes, maybe.
Yep.
I'm gonna wipe all these out.
I am always hungry. I mean, I guess that's a bane depending upon
Could always get 3 weird banes too. That could be fun.
Okay, I'm just slower, and then we'll do weird banes. Cursed by demons. I think that one sounds great.
Like time behaves strangely when I'm around.
Okay. How is that? Oops. Well, let's see. We should always have a bane name right now, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we can
Okay.
now move to the next one.
We could add the effect should be defined as a quick small step before taking a larger step. Cannot read properties of undefined reading 0. Oh, sorry. My bad. Copy paste error.
bones.
Yeah.
Okay. So our fields are going to be different, but they're similar, right?
Yeah.
So like we have minus 2D.
Yeah. And I'm not sure, maybe Will knows this off the top of his head. Is it like
Yeah, minus 2D.
and it would receive disadvantage?
Yep.
Oh.
Receive disadvantage. Yep. And add a 1.
Okay, so we want minus on the fields to check. We want minus 2D and receive disadvantage and
add a 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, and if we and yes, we should check on the banes instead of the boons. Good call. And we are expecting our bane to have 1 effect, and it has 0 effects.
Right, because we are not.
I'm gonna do
So.
I think those are the right effect names for you.
Yeah, let's run the test and it should tell us.
Hey, look. Look at that.
Okay. So we should then be able to wire this up to the front, right?
Yeah, I think so. And as long as we remember to call our
Add a
bane function this time.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and do that.
And then.
Oh, I guess, do we want the same kind of format for bane?
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, let me try this. Okay. Initially looks like that.
And we should also change that.
Good call. That is A1, right? Is that how that's abbreviated?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And I think we could just
do something very similar to that.
Hey,
look, we're cursed by demons. Oh, good. We're not always cursed by demons. Occasionally, we're always hungry. Banes are good.
I think so.
Yeah.
Commit.
Commit.
Yes.
Will do. Yay. In the instructions, is there a list of goodies possible, like suggested goodies, like there is a list of suggested boons and banes?
I think there's probably something. It's not going to be as extensive. Let me see if I can find something here. Okay. Well, goodies are interesting. They could actually be an item, or they could be a contact, someone that you know, or it could also be even a place, like a place that you have that is, like a sanctuary, or a place that you can always go where someone will have what you need, or there's some variability there, right?
Right.
More so than the boons and banes, which are always something that's intrinsic to a character. These are things that are extrinsic to a character. And so the thing I was saying earlier about how in some cases, it might make sense to say, hey, let's separate out whether or not someone gets a physical boon or bane versus some of the other types. In the case of a goodie, it's almost necessary to separate those different types based on what it is. So if we look at the list in the book of the different types of qualities that we have, let's see, where do we go? So asset features, assets are like people, right? Objects are more item related, and then there are some combat related ones that could be applicable as well. So maybe we just divide between the two types for now, because I think the location is far less likely, and we don't have a list of features that make sense for them. So if we said, here's an asset and here's an item, that would be a good way to break it down. So I could give you some names, some sort of random names for assets. We could say the greasy pit on the corner as one, right? That would be a name of a goodie, right? Another one would be the mail deliverer, and we could call him George, or we could call him Gina, or Gina, or whatever we wanted to. And then we could have one more, maybe have a quick name. Call them Zimi, Ximi. That's it, just a name.
Oh, so just a, hey, this person named Zimi?
Zimi, yep.
Okay.
Okay, so like we talked about last time, like maybe what we'll do is we'll say it's either an asset or an object, and then randomly add one of the features to that goodie based off of which of those two, and pick from different name buckets.
Right. Which
so
type
maybe,
it is, yeah.
So maybe we just start with assets, and then we'll add on the layer of objects as a secondary thing. Just like for like the next 10 to 15 minutes, probably.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. So should we start with the test?
Yeah. So in this case, should add a asset goodie to the character.
Goodie. Oh, we decided it was with a Y when it's
with a Y in the source material.
Okay, so we'll have a character, and with the rule set that we're using for this initial pass, the adding a goodie is not dependent on any of the previous steps, right? So like just creating a blank character and then calling add goodie.
Yeah, I think that should work.
Okay.
No, it should be.
I think we're starting to lose Will again.
I think
as a reminder, Will is somewhere out in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got part of that, but not all of that. I don't know if that will come.
So there is no prerequisite. There's no prerequisite to having the goodie. There's no time required step that has to happen beforehand.
Okay. So after we add a goodie, the character should have an array of goodies.
Yeah, you can have multiple goodies.
For our purposes, we're just going to add one goodie for now, right?
Correct. But the character sheet has slots for 4. I don't know if that's a limitation or if that's just you don't need to put all the goodies. Just get another character sheet.
Okay, so we should have, after we add a goodie, we should have a field named goodies, and it should be an array of length 1.
Yep. So can
Recording in progress.
Oh, now we have 2 Wills. I'm guessing his computer went crazy again.
okay, we should have a function now. To run a
Okay.
test. And goodies should be defined.
Okay, undefined, expected undefined to be defined.
Okay.
Okay, at least I'm not the only one who spells googies instead of goodies. I guess because my fingers want to spell Google or something.
Probably, that's true. Okay, so there we go.
Okay,
And
array, and it has 0 things instead of 1 things.
I guess technically to get to pass, I could just push that.
Yeah. Ta-da! That passes.
Okay.
We should probably have a little bit more robust of a test than that. Our goodie should probably have a name. Goodies. So our first and currently only goodie should have a name.
Yep. Okay. So I will add a name. Should be able to
Do our that thing.
We'll just call the first one Craig.
Craig. Craig is a good goodie name.
And the second one could be Zimmy, which I previously said, Ximi.
that one. Okay. Okay.
And the last one could be, I don't know, Fezig. Why not?
Like,
So 2 Z's.
Don't say it.
Oh,
anybody
for
want a peanut?
Yeah.
okay, let's see. We should have a. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So now our test passes.
Excellent. Next
And
part.
we should have some effect, well, or a feature. Here they're called features, right? For goodies.
Yeah. Yep. A feature. A
Character.
feature within it.
Goodies of 0. Features should be defined. Do we want to do the same? So we just want to do the same kind of thing where it will be an object that has fields on it.
Well, so features is going to
This
be
won't be
a
that. So features are like the boons. So we'll get those from our list in the book.
Oh, okay, okay.
which you could
Oh.
purchase at what drivethrurpg.com.
Ah,
Yeah, well, we should
I will
probably
promote
smash that
for
like
well.
and subscribe button.
Okay, so so a goodie can have multiple features, and each
Yeah.
feature can have an effect.
Yes. So the feature is more like a boon than a goodie.
Okay,
Yeah, and the effect
the-
will be the same as the effect for a boon.
Yes.
okay. Okay, so I have a test here that our one goodie should have something called features.
So the goodie is going to have features, right? Is that what we said?
Right. Yep. Yep.
And it would be an array of features.
Right. For our purposes, we're just going to have a goodie with one feature, right? But it could theoretically have multiple features.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Should we do a character or one goodie? Should have exactly one feature.
So goodie dot features dot push.
There we go. Sorry, I ran the tests when it hadn't finished saving or something. Okay, so our goodie has features and it has one feature. And the feature will have a name, right? Goodies. Features, or one feature will have a name.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna let feature.
Oh, we lost Will again. Must have been some big waves or something. I don't know.
Hopefully not too big of waves.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
So I should see what you're typing probably.
Feature names.
Let's see. These are assets. Do you want a couple of asset feature names?
Yeah.
Oops. There we go. I'll just do the first three.
Yep.
Maybe
That'd be great.
I can select that many. Let's see. Top.
Actually say specifically that these are asset feature names. Since we are gonna
have something was helping me and okay.
Okay, but without the randomization part, I'm just gonna do that. At some point, we're gonna say asset feature names or other feature names. And then I want the actual name generation to be the same regardless.
Gotcha. I like that.
That's my little bit of premature optimization. I'm looking ahead a little bit.
Okay, our goodie has a feature and that feature has a name. Let's see, and then that feature should also have an effect, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Character goodies. I was trying really hard to not do goodies, but I failed. Being defined. And X is going to be an object. Right?
What is
Yeah.
effects? Yeah, sorry.
Just like the effects for boons.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. So that should make our test pass. And then we need to do the thing like on boons.
Like this.
Yeah, like that.
but instead that. Up to
Right
there.
there. Yeah. And if we run that, we have a goodie that has one feature, that has a name, that has a list of effects. Well, that has effects, but none of the effects are enabled. Are true.
Yay.
Right. Then we should be able to do this guy here. But what are our effect names? Our effect names are the same, right?
Yes, our effect names are the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
When our test has the same effect names, so
there we go.
look, our test passes.
Yay.
Commit.
Yeah, yeah, let's commit.
Do it.
Add randomized asset goodies. Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Which do we want to do first? Do we want to add item goodies and be able to have asset goodies or item goodies, or do we want to have it display on the screen first?
Let's display, I think.
Okay. Come over here. We should probably call add goodie. And you just want a goodie section like boons and banes?
Sure, yeah. We'll have one additional sort of
We'll have one like level,
for the
additional
name
level,
of the
right?
goodie. Yeah.
Goodies. I'm making stuff up here, so we'll have a goodie name, and it will have a feature. Do we just want
A goodie name and a feature name.
do them both at the same level?
No, because there can be multiple features on one goodie.
Okay. You want to do it like
Yep.
that's terrible presentation, but
There you
like something like that.
You got to take your UL closing down to the bottom as well.
Oh,
Multiple eyes is a good thing.
it is a good thing. I want to go in. Can I just reformat this? Can't just
There you
reformat.
go.
Maybe that was terrible. I don't know, but
Seems okay.
then I don't have to format it anymore.
I'm curious what that's going to do with our diff.
Someone's going to do terrible things to our diff. I want this to be there.
So we want that
Mhm.
inside the LI, I think.
Yeah,
Right.
you're right. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to add I'm going to put this in a span.
Mhm.
Is feature name. Feature name is unique, right?
So far.
Okay. These names are not unique. Oh, I also copied them from the Bane instead of the Boone section, but okay, that's all right. Do you want this to be like feature
Feature.
add 2D?
Or plus.
Oh, it's plus. Yeah, you're right. Plus 2D.
Yeah, that'll.
Oh, yeah, this will get tricky when there becomes more than one.
Yeah, we'll have to
You have to start numbering them or something.
add a 6. Of course, then we'll like be generating them dynamically, so we won't have to. Maybe we won't have to have IDs. I don't know.
Yeah. Or we start to play with HTML components.
We could do HTML components. Yeah,
Mm,
so those are totally a thing now.
interesting. I have not played with HTML components. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I've played with them a little bit once, enough to do a 5-minute lightning talk on them. That's about as far as I got. But
Maybe that's too interesting then.
Okay, but for now, we have one goodie, one feature.
Yeah.
and oh,
Oh, yeah.
I copied these all from the wrong place.
Oh, good. Oh, then we need to change the names as well. Let's see, receive advantage instead of disadvantage.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
only one that still needs to change.
Sorry, I changed almost all
Okay.
the rest of them.
Yeah. It's good.
Okay. Do we want to do, for now, do we want to do something like this?
It'll be like
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Okay, I want to do goodie name character dot would be goodies,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
We also want to set the feature name though.
So if we
Mhm,
duplicate
mhm.
that.
Followed by feature name, I think is what I call that.
Mhm.
Okay. Character dot goodies, the first one, get the first feature, and we'll get its name. Right.
Yep.
And then this is
It's really just effect names, but
It really
Yeah.
is, yeah.
except for in this case, it's going to be, we do
So
want.
you can have
it to be set.
positive effect names and negative effect names.
I mean, how it's currently set, we want it to be like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, except for that, that's not going to work because that's not going to be,
It's
the-
feature
yeah.
effect names, I think, right?
it's not going to be match
For
up
the
here.
naming convention.
So we need a map if we're going to do this way.
Oh, yeah. I think for the naming convention, you want it to be feature effect names, not goodie effect names.
Mm,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because these are the names of the
right.
element IDs, but not the names of the properties.
So we could do, we did something like this. And then in here, we get the element by,
By the full.
sorry.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh, a little concatenation magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
We did
And then that, well, actually, then we don't need this.
right.
We could just use the boon names. And we could just like, Will said, we could change those just to positive effect names.
Yeah. I don't know how good the rename in Visual Studio Code will be over
Yeah.
share
You
for
want to try that?
JavaScript. I'll try it.
Right, so these will be...
Oh, interesting. It like pops up the thing, but then when you
Oh,
move,
sorry. Go ahead and
Ah.
try it now.
let's see. We're gonna call this
Positive?
positive
Yeah.
effect names.
Yes.
What did it do? Did it do the right
Yep.
thing? I think it did the right thing. Okay.
That looks right. I mean, we could try it and then we would know for sure, but
Yeah. Well, there we go.
hey,
We could rename Bane effect to negative effect, even though,
Even though currently it's only going to apply to Banes.
yeah. But
that is closer to how
also,
we would want it to be when goodies can have flaws, I think, because those are the same as the Bane effects, right?
yes.
Okay.
We could also push them to the JavaScript. Can we do that?
Oh,
Because right now we have them duplicated in the JavaScript and the HTML and the JavaScript and the JavaScript.
do. I think we can just have those. We could. I mean, this probably some JavaScript people are cringing at what we're already doing, but we could. I think we can just have them be top level things in the.
Yeah, and that would,
I think. Oops. We just do. So like we take the positive effect names and have it be, I'm gonna put it, I don't know, where should I put these?
probably just above the
Of
add boon.
add boon?
Yeah. Right, and then we change this to right, and then we can get rid of that. Oh, you should probably run the test.
Oh, reset size, but should add, oh, why is it only running one of our tests?
Did you click on one of them accidentally? It looks like it's got a spec
maybe.
filter on.
Oh, maybe I did accidentally click on one. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
And how does our HTML look?
Over here, it looks totally broken. Okay.
That's interesting.
Is it giving us a console errors? Oh, hey, look at that. Identifier positive effect names has already been declared.
So if we comment that out, there we go.
There we go.
Okay.
And random still works for boons. That's good.
I think if we used var, it wouldn't have cared, right?
Yeah,
Maybe.
maybe? I don't know. All right, should we do negative effect names also?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna put them together.
That makes sense to me.
yeah,
Use those in.
we gotta remove the other one.
I'll take out the effect names. Oh, oops. I renamed the positive effect names.
Oh,
Yeah, just need to change it back.
okay. So positive, positive, negative, negative.
Negative.
Oh,
And then goodies. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then, oops, not there. And the HTML will need to take out our negative effect names. Our test should work though.
Our test should work.
Okay, and then our HTML, now that that is gone, should also work.
Okay.
Okay, I like that better.
Mhm. Very nice.
Do we want to do, we have that duplication also in our tests?
What do you, oh,
We
that it's-
do.
Is it worth removing there?
meaning like what kind of like what
Like
kind of
the-
duplication are you looking to remove in the test?
So like we have a list of the fields to check. Which is the same as our positive effect names and our negative effect names, right?
Yeah, I mean,
It's it's kind of not duplication because like this is the canonical list of here are the possible ones and here are the ones we actually want to look at.
It feels a
Yeah.
little less egregious in a test because it's just part of the test setup, right?
yeah, but it's also it's the double entry, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like using the code base to run a calculation that you're going to check against the calculation you ran in the code base. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like there's inherent, like potentially we could deduplicate some of the stuff within the test, like because we do have that line twice for
Yeah,
the boons and like positive effects to check or something like that. But I think I'm okay for right now.
okay.
Commit.
Yeah, let's commit. What's a good commit message for this? What do we actually change?
Well, we can look at a diff.
So this is just extracting the duplication of the
names.
positive and negative.
Oh, and we added the goodies to display.
Because we also added the goodies. Okay, so it's adding goodies and removing some duplication. Which we could have done it. I mean, we did it as 2 steps. We could have committed it as 2 steps, but we didn't. But that's okay. Now should we do item goodies? We have asset goodies.
Yeah.
How do we add item goodies?
Do it.
Okay.
So before you got on, well, we had a discussion around making sure that today we get to a spot where you could show this to people. So we could do the item goodies probably pretty like it. So looking at
That'll
the,
go fast.
yeah, there's the objects and weapons. So like there's 2 different lists there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, no, I was just
couple
saying
frames.
like maybe we could get the character stuff in quickly and then come back and do this, but this should be relatively
pretty
straightforward.
fast, yeah.
So.
I just need to give you a few names. That'll be the fun part.
Okay.
Okay.
So we need objects and or gear. I
Yeah,
guess.
sure. Gear. Call it gear. It's fine.
Gear. Okay.
Gear and weapons.
Well, we don't need to. I guess we can do them separately if you like. That's fine.
Well, I don't know. It's your game. I'm just reading the text here, and it says there's gear
Let's
and
do them
equipment,
separately.
and then there's
sounds-
weapons and armor.
Yep, let's do them separately.
I mean, I guess your weapons could be
There could be some overlap, but it's all right.
Are we going to add a test for this, or just augment our existing code?
Good question. Like,
Cool.
it feels like it's a big enough change that we'd want to test, but I don't know what we would test.
I don't know what we would test either.
Yeah.
So maybe
Unless
the
you're
test just
adding, unless to the goodie, object, some kind of a qualifier, right? Of this is, an asset, a piece of gear or a weapon. It's the only way you can test it, right? Because otherwise it's all random.
Yeah. Or you could, do one of those things where you run the test enough times and make sure that one of the names is from one of them,
Sure, yeah.
an asset, one of them is a,
What's enough though?
something like that. But
or we go and
Yeah.
do the remove the randomization part. Like we could force the randomization outside of add goodie. Like we tell it which of the 3 types, or we pass in a function that randomizes that we can control outside for mocking purposes. But
yeah,
again,
Yeah.
like we're not even checking what the names are now.
Yeah.
The character sheet doesn't seem to care if it's which of the 3. Like it doesn't have you mark it
Right,
anywhere.
yeah,
It just assumes based off of the name. So I think I'm okay without a test. The test will help us as we go through to make sure that we're not going too far off the rails.
okay. I'm okay with that, I think.
Okay, that being said, right, if we go here, really we need oops.
Oh, asset goodie names.
And then
Those ones we already did.
right, so now we have asset feature names and asset goodie names that need to both be selected.
Right. Do we want to move like 73 and maybe 74 up by 66? So like we're doing all of the switching up at the top.
Mhm. I think that makes sense.
Does that make sense to you, Mike?
I totally lost my sound for
Oh.
all of that.
Oh,
Oh,
I went to fix it and it came back on right as you asked.
oh. So do you agree, Mike?
That's what I got.
Sometimes I do that with my children when they don't hear what I say. Like, you agree with that, right? Yes. They've learned to be cautious now, though. I was saying, does it make sense to move 73 and 74 up by 66 and 67?
Yeah, well, I was even wondering if there's like a new function here.
Yeah, to select what type of goodie it is beforehand
Well,
and what the values are.
because they're going to be coupled together, right? So is asset goodie names
Yeah.
and asset feature names an object?
Mhm.
So
Right.
so like you were just thinking, right? So we could do that.
We can start by putting it here and then we can abstract it out if we want to.
Oh, that's what I
Yeah, we got one too many.
right. So we could have asset names. So this would be goodie names. just kind of purely for organizational purposes.
Okay.
And then
Feature names.
feature names. And that would be
Be that.
guys. Oops. And then this would be asset names dot goody names.
That would be dot feature names, and we can get rid of 72.
Yeah. And
Oh, and 66. Yeah.
okay. Run the tests.
Where'd my tests go? There are my tests.
You can get rid of, oh, there we go.
I wonder if like our test right now just checks that name is defined. Right?
Yeah.
Wonder if we want to check if the length is greater than 0. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we could do that.
But I don't.
Like, I don't.
I guess I can't see how it would be.
Yeah.
Okay. Never mind. And our page works. We have
Page seems to work.
goody names and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So now we just need to switch out if it's. So then we need a year names.
Yeah. Well, that'd be goody names and feature names.
Want to leave the goody names blank, I will type some in.
Okay. I can go get some. Let's see, these will be object features, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, I think I might have figured out what I did. Some of this keyboard function N muted. Yeah, so I might have done that. Okay, so we have an array of the name categories, and then we just need to do
We just need to pick one of those.
one of those.
Something like 79.
Right. So
Goody, I don't know, goody information or name information. I don't know.
I was going to say
Information. Okay. Okay. Information is kind of a nothing word.
oh, some way so is names, but
Okay. Should we see if that works?
We should.
Okay, let's see if our tests pass. Tests do not pass. Why don't our tests not pass? It's failing on line 84.
oh,
Oh, because that's just called, oh, because in one place it's called feature names and the other place it's called feature.
there we
Yeah.
go. Try that.
Okay. This is why I've been running our tests multiple times. Our viewers are wondering because we're doing random things. Okay, so our test pass. Those are websites to work. We can get Zinni. We can get some rope. We can get some rope that flies super fast. Or some rope that provides anti-gravitational jumps.
Of course.
Or an ultimate super suit that flies super fast.
I feel like I should really get them rope.
Only as long as
It
it
might have
provides
properties you wouldn't
anti-gravitational
expect.
jumps.
Okay. Do we want to add in one for weapons? Weapon-based goodies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we do,
Seems like that should be a
To the
relative.
book, it's
stuff,
combat
yeah.
related. Yeah.
Oops,
Let's do that.
this one. Okay, I'm gonna steal all these. Will, do you want to add in some names?
Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Excellent. I'm not sure if Will lost his connection and his video is frozen, or if he's just looking really intently at weapon.
No, it's
the video is not great.
it is
Yeah.
very slow, very slow. But it will eventually go through, I think. Same thing happened when I did the other names.
Okay.
But I did it.
Maybe.
That's true. Like down speeds are
Yeah.
probably okay. Up speeds are probably
Yeah,
not
they're
prioritized.
very bad. Maybe I should turn off my video. Hmm.
Ooh, now we're getting characters.
Oh, we're getting like fast playback. Okay.
Okay, so our test should still work. Oops, go back to our tests. Okay, tests still work, and our website should still work, but now sometimes we should get weapons. Something, something, explosive something, which attacks twice as fast.
Of course.
And a bazooka that attacks twice as fast. That'd probably be a pretty good weapon. A bazooka that attacks twice as fast. Just as long as you're not too close when it goes off. I was waiting for it to do the sword. There's the sword. That sword.
Okay. Commit.
Yeah. So we added gear or / object and weapon goodies.